I can't hear you.
Yeah, I got the record.
Welcome to A to Z with Ali and Zilla, where we take you from real world challenges to practical solutions.
From mindset and manifestation to culture, community, and building better systems born. This isn't just talk.
Let's get into it.
Right, we are back. Welcome to Think of Feel Part Two. Last Part one, we really got into it, diving deep into consciousness and what it means to be human from a thought perspective, or how we feel. Does feelings really dictate how our consciousness proceeds? But today, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that, and also talk about this controversy that's going on in the WNBA right now. Uh, which has to do with identity. So a little bit of identity, biology, sports, fairness. What does that all mean? You
What
know,
does that mean?
uh, uh, have you heard about the Enes Cantor and what's going on with that? Enes
Nah, I don't
Cantor
know anything
declaring
about it.
for,
What's going on?
yeah, we're gonna dive into it, man. Yeah, let me just preview it. Enes Cantor, Royce White, they both two males declared for the WNBA
Oh,
draft. So we're going to get deep into that. Well, maybe not too deep. We'll see how it goes.
I thought
So
that
that's
was
always controversial. So can we even have these type of beliefs about sports, identity, fairness, and just agree to disagree sometimes, or do we have to be enemies because we don't agree?
no.
Um,
I think this. I don't think we have to be enemies, but I don't agree to disagree on this one. This one has to be a solid point, and I
yeah,
say hell no. Now, mind you, hold on. I will say this: that we could agree to disagree if they say, okay, this is not the you can't go to the WNBA. There's a whole nother league that you can get
are
involved
you saying we need
into.
a third league? We need an
Yes,
NBA, WNBA, and then a
yeah,
third league,
to where
a mixed league, maybe.
women are okay with being in it, possibly, and maybe some less talented, not worthy of NBA material goes into it too. Give everybody a chance. You know what I mean? I
No,
don't
I
know.
feel
I
you. I mean,
I don't agree with it.
do you know Enes Kanter?
No,
Are
I
you
don't.
familiar with? All
Nope.
right. Well, he played in the league for a couple of years. He was actually, I think, third in the draft. He was a pretty solid player. Put up like 12 points a game, something like that. This Royce White guy, he was in the NBA too, but he didn't really catch on. I had never heard of him before. But with this whole thing about identity and things like that, they both declared that, hey, we're going to declare for the draft until you guys get clear language on, I guess, what it means to be a woman. So
That's
Caitlyn Jenner of all people chimed in, gave her 2 cents on the matter, and
it's
basically
no.
said
Let's
that
say it 1 cent.
once,
1 cent. She don't. She's not relevant. I mean, I know she's a spokesmodel or he's a spokesman. I don't listen. Go ahead, man. I'm done. I don't like this.
uh, basically saying that, hey man, maybe we need to get some strict biological rules on what determines someone to be able to play in the NBA, WNBA, which I thought was kind of ironic given Caitlyn Jenner's stance of being a transgender person at this point, who also, competed in the Olympics. So Caitlyn, of course, knows how much more dominant males can be in terms of sports. And it does create an unfair advantage, right? I mean, but one thing my wife and I did talk about was like, let's say a man did play in the WNBA, he probably could play for much longer, longevity wise, as far as the talent level. You know what I mean? Just something to think about. Like, uh,
Yeah,
let's
maybe,
say a former NBA player who's 50 could probably compete in the WNBA and probably do pretty well.
but you don't know how those chemicals that they use affect them neither. As
Yeah.
far as their longevity. What if that testosterone that they have to take or, whatever, estrogen, I don't know what they take. I don't know what they do. I'm not in that world. And I'm not so much against that world. I'm against that world for my life, but it's not my life. I don't even watch sports, so I don't know why I'm so adamant against it. I just think
That'll be
there.
my question for you, man. Like when you heard that topic, you immediately jumped on it. So what's your immediate reaction?
I don't think
And
it's
why?
fair. I don't think
Okay,
it's
so
fair.
fairness, not fair.
Yeah, I think it's the same
I
thing.
agree with
Like
that.
even though, okay, even though people would say if I got in the ring, I'm 51 years old. If I got in the ring with Ronda Rousey, she would kick my butt, right? She's a professional in her sport. I don't think she would kick my butt. I think I would give her a run for her money. Her money. You know what I'm saying? I might knock her out. I don't know. She might knock me out. But for somebody who actually trains and fights, that's a dude, that would be an unfair fight for her. Clarissa Shields even seen that, when she fought that dude. She got rocked, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, like anybody can get rocked though, but she
yeah.
wasn't going
Everybody's
to
got a
win.
puncher's chance, they say, right?
Yeah, but that there's not that. I don't. Maybe a skill like even race car driving. I don't know, but the endurance and stamina. I just don't think that men and women should be competing against each other at
I
all
agree.
for the
I
simple
agree.
fact of maybe a friendly thing, like when you go into a family picnic or something like that, or you're in your house and you want to play Monopoly, or you playing chess inside. But I don't think that it should be anything that's physical.
I'm agree. Like as a person, as a trainer, right? I've trained women, I've trained men, I've trained young girls, I've trained young boys, and it's a clear distinction in the performance output between males and females from a uh, anatomical standpoint. The bodies are made different. The amount of weight they can lift is different. The
Yeah.
amount of speed, the amount of power that can be generated is different. So
See,
gender aside, like whether it's right or wrong to be for a male to be in the WNBA, which I don't think they should be in the WNBA, it's just biologically different.
yeah. Now,
And
mind you,
there's no debating that.
there's none. Now,
There's
now,
no
mind
debating
you,
that
I'm
part.
not going to take any like their grit, the grit that a person has, that intestinal fortitude. Oh man, we're equal. We're
I agree with that for
two
sure.
people, a male and a female, even a male and a transgender, or however, just male and female. I don't care if you didn't change yourself, you're a homosexual, whatever. Grit is something that everybody has the opportunity to be on an equal plane.
Yeah.
Physically, no. Physically, no. There are some, like again, there are some women that are physically stronger than dudes, or there's some women that are um, mentally more
Go for it.
logical than some dudes.
Yep.
However, if there's people in the same field of expertise, nah, it's not equal. It's not equal. You know what I mean? And that's why, and mind you, hey, mind you, we are Marines. Our women still aren't allowed to fight. So we could be meant, I could be, I'm not saying we, because I know we are, we are brainwashed to understanding that women are not in a combat position for a reason. And that reason is a woman is not going to be an average woman. Even a above average woman isn't going to be able to do the same things that a man can do in a combat position. So that's where my mind is. And just like what you said, the biology of the situation is that we're different. We're different, and I'm going to stand on it, man. I'm going to stand on it.
It,
It
and
should not happen.
the crazy thing about it, man, like they created the WNBA obviously
For
because
women.
yeah, they obviously felt that women weren't in the same league. So for us to be in this point where we got Cantor and Royce White saying they're going to declare, that goes against the whole point of why the league was created in the first place. And for this to even be a debate as to should
Oh
we
my
be
God.
considering like what are we doing? Like this makes no
Oh,
sense. Like obviously they should have their own league. It creates more fairness and let them have level playing field with athletes that matched their ability for the women, and I think that's just fair. I think part of it where these two dudes are just kind of playing around with the rules because I guess they're saying that they need to really write it into the rules that you have to be born a woman. But
No, I mean, because
some things are debatable in my opinion, man. And
yeah, I think the people who are making up these rules are dumb, 100% dumb, or either they're 100% dumb or they are experts of the system. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because I ain't gonna say I know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure every single woman in the WNBA can beat me in basketball. You know, without a
without a
doubt,
question,
yeah, without question. I wouldn't even bet. I would bet on them. And I don't bet against myself. I would still bet that they're gonna whip my, outscore me. And the reason why I said the other way, or they're geniuses, is because they're doing something to manipulate the minds of the people to get people arguing and attention on something other than what it should be. Seeing where people are trying to be supporters in a situation where there should be no freaking support. You know what I mean? That's my opinion. Some people believe otherwise. And to those who believe otherwise, you need to check up here. That's how I feel about it. And you can say the same to me, and it's cool. I'm standing. I'm not wavering. But that does. Go ahead, man.
no, that's a good point. And the crazy thing is, right? We rely on scientific evidence for so many things. Why aren't we relying on the scientific evidence here to make this no longer a debate? Like testosterone in and of itself gives you a physical advantage. And we know even if males get their testosterone levels too high, it gives them a clear advantage over other males, which is
Right.
why things like if steroids are banned in male on male sports. So if we take a male who we know has 10 times the testosterone level of the average female, that obviously gives him a clear advantage over females. So why are we not just using science to make this debate go away? It makes logical sense.
Well, hey, there you go. So you just now said the logic in it. The logic in it is they're trying to start. They want people's attention. They want people's attention. And the only thing that I think, and we got so many trolls, and that's the thing. We got so many trolls that they just want to jump in and start chaos for no reason,
Yeah.
just because they're freaking demons. Yeah. I call them demons. I might have elevated them above what they really are. Just, you know what I mean?
The trolls.
Yeah, but whatever.
Okay.
There's causing confusion where there should not be any. We should have enough conscious-minded people to be able to say, "Hey, this is a dumb debate. It's not even a debate no more. Put that stuff on the side, and it's not happening." There should be enough people in a higher state of life instead of trying to feed the worms in this world. You know what I mean? They need to eat too, but man, they freak. We already know we messed up when we're not even arresting pedophiles that we know are pedophiles, so whatever. Hey, consciousness. Let's get on with that. We're talking about consciousness, and there's a part of consciousness that we're going to jump into. And I would like to say that there are levels of consciousness, and that we should see consciousness in extremes. Consciousness, like you could look at it as a centipede. There's multiple legs of having consciousness. And I guess go ahead, man. You're the expert in it, and then we'll talk about later on conscious incompetence, conscious competence, unconscious competence, and conscious incompetence later.
Oh man, expert. I'm not gonna take that title. But we just talk about what the experts are saying because we dove into episode 1. Man, I think my camera slipped down like that. Um, what's going on with this thing here? Yeah, so we dove into last time that the experts don't even have a clear definition of what consciousness is, which is how we jumped off the conversation to begin with. So we started with, I think, therefore I am. Is that consciousness, or does consciousness emanate from feelings that we have? So we dove into this article pretty heavily, and so that's what we'll let the conversation kick off. You know what I mean? So
Well, okay, since
basically,
that's go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
No, you started at a different angle than I where I was going. So let's roll.
So, all right. So in this article, we're going to dive a little bit further down. He said when it comes to, in his view, consciousness belongs to living creatures with nervous systems capable of generating the feelings that regulate life. A tree, however fascinating, has no nervous system, neither does a mushroom. But so it started diving into AI a little bit. Can AI feel? Do we feel? So on and so forth. But a cat, a mouse, and a lion are all conscious in the same fundamental way. They're aware of their own lives and of what they feel, even though they don't think about it in that way of I think, therefore I feel, but they're all conscious beings. So um, consciousness in and of itself is something that is a mystery, but we're going to try to answer some questions ourselves or ask more questions and see if we can explain this consciousness mystery. So let's jump it off with a question, man. We left it, you and I kind of jumped off with consciousness is all around us. Consciousness starts and then life starts. And it's the emanation that life starts from. That we don't have the thoughts first, the consciousness is there, and then we jump into these life suits, these bodies, and then we start experiencing consciousness.
Yeah. So from the beginning, I think it's I believe like there's different stages of consciousness when it comes to, and I can show you, and what I was saying was the unconscious incompetence when I said that
And
unconscious
what do you mean by that?
incompetence. Okay. So let me get this right in my head first. The order: unconscious incompetence, unconscious. I mean, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, and unconscious competence. And the first one is what I'm talking about is like when that's the baby level and of tying your shoe, you know, unconscious incompetence. That baby doesn't even know how to that you, like when you're putting the shoe on, it's just like, oh, okay, you're putting the shoe on, so like, I can go running now. It doesn't even know that you have to tie the shoe, right? So that's unconscious incompetence. You just don't know it. And it might sound like I'm saying something negative. I'm not. It's just a stage, right? So then you get to where the child sees the shoe, right? He sees his shoe, and he's like, oh, wait a minute. You're putting the shoe on and you're doing something with these laces, with these strings. You're tying them, So now it's conscious incompetence because it doesn't know how. That child does not know how to tie its shoe yet, but it's learning now. It's learning. So it's at a learning stage. Then once it knows how to do it, it has to go through it and say, okay, I got to put the loop over here, tie the bunny, slip the bunny in the hole, and then pull. So that's conscious, right? Unconscious. No, excuse me. That's conscious competence where you actually know how to do it. Then when it becomes unconscious competence, that's when me and you at our level, of course, years ago, where we're just sitting there talking, but oh, my shoe came untied, and I'm looking straight at you and I'm feeling for it. And I just know, okay, hey, tie my shoe real quick, not even looking at it. And I just know how to do it. It's just in there. Or like, you know how when you're driving home from work and you done did that 100 million times and Sometimes it takes you 30 minutes to get home, and then that one time you're sitting there listening to music, you're actually in your own zone, and it took you 22 minutes to get home. You're like, man, what happened there? I didn't even remember going past there. It's
Yeah, that happens.
because we have perfected a part of our consciousness that we don't even really have to think about anymore. So there are things even in like what they call the instincts, that
Yeah,
brings us to a different type of conscious level. Like boxers, they have that some boxers, mind you, have that unconscious competence to where they like, okay, his shoulder moved and I seen a little piece of sweat coming off of there and their hip dipped. He's getting ready to hit me with an uppercut. I'm fast enough to see that. So he goes through his brain real quick because of the way he's standing. He's standing southpaw. I'm going to go ahead and dip with my left shoulder because he's not going to see it because of his angle and parry with my left hand and then hit him with a right hook instead of a right jab. You know what I mean? So, or a right cross, whatever. And they know these things just off, like Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, and whatever. But we do that with life. We have the ability to do that with our regular life. Once we become proficient in an area, and that is a part of consciousness. That's everything. So there are levels to it. Now, thank you for
yeah.
allowing me to get that out. Let's go into a different area of consciousness.
I want to just talk about what you said right there about a boxer, right? Because we have the emotional brain or the more intuitive side, and then we have the logical side. And when it comes to training something, right, these boxers, they're not using the logical side to figure out, hey, I need to parry because it's so intuitive at this point. And we talk about this thing about being in the zone. And when you're in the zone, if you're playing basketball, boxing, whatever, we use this term of saying everything slows down. And it's not that the physical reality is moving slower, it's that your consciousness is going faster. And it's tapping into
Yes.
this emotional, intuitive side that doesn't need logic, which is faster than logic. So in essence, it makes the physical seem like it's slowing down, but it's that part of us that's connected to uh, the ability to sense on a higher level what someone is going to do. So you can sense when his shoulder dips, you can sense what the next move is going to come and you respond, and it's much faster than the logic. And that is a higher state of consciousness. That's why they call it like being in the zone. Being in zone is also Zen, Z, because you can interchange those two, the O and the E, because in certain what do you call it, etymological concepts, you can interchange the vowels. So zone is also Zen state or a higher state. And when you're in that higher level of consciousness that goes beyond the logic. So
Right.
just wanted to add that part that we do have an ability to get to a consciousness that's faster than the physical reality. And that what these scientists are talking about. That's where consciousness is. That's where it emanates. It's before a thought. So if you think about what I just said, they're saying consciousness comes from these feelings, and that's an intuitive thing. And then
Okay.
the logic comes in after that. So we're
Well,
not thinking consciousness is something that is around us and we can tap into.
yeah. So I got a question though, because you
Yeah, go
did
for it.
say that the emotional part of of the consciousness is faster than the logical part. Is that, I mean, why are you, I mean, I know the scientists are saying that, but is that something that you believe? And if that is something that you believe, why do you believe that? What is your backing behind the logic and
Well,
emotion?
if you think of it like the sixth sense, so to speak, the sixth sense. So we have all these sensory things that come in from, whether it's feeling, touch, smell, so on and so forth. But all that is orchestrated by a higher mind, the sixth sense. So this psychic type of sense. And that, so let's say you're out in the woods, right? Or
Okay.
maybe me and you are in the same space and I flinch at you, you'll react to that before you logically think about it. And then you'll be like, oh, that was a threat. Or if you're walking and then you hear something behind you, you might jump and react. Or maybe you may even feel something that causes you to react before you logically conclude, oh, that was just a dog, or that was just something that fell. So this is faster than logically thinking about things. And
So so is that
uh
emotion?
it's tied to emotion.
Okay.
It's tied to emotion and feeling.
Okay. No, okay, I get it. I
I
just
wouldn't say it is, but it's tied to it.
well, we don't have to get into what that actually is, but it's something that is tied into it. Okay, I get you. I get you. Unless you know what it is. Do you know what it is? Your camera dropped again.
Oh man, I keep moving that sorry.
Uh
I'm done.
I'm just I'm trying I want to
Trying
see
to
it
wrap
and
your head
it
around
kind of does make sense. It makes sense that it could I mean that it is that way that I can see how you can see it that way. Um so that would mean that the people who are always me trying to not trying to add logic to everything in certain situations is slowing it down, right?
Well, yeah,
Right?
I mean, they'll say we even say things like if you take the next logical step. A
Yeah.
step is a series of processes that you go through. If you use logic, even if you're using mathematics, right? That's a logical series of steps that you go through to arrive at a conclusion, which is the same thing what AI uses, which uses algorithms. But one thing that AI can't do is react based on emotion. It's a very logical step, mathematical equation. But in order to be a human, in fact, that's one of our um, attributes that we have that makes us different from an AI system is that we have this ability to be able to take a leap of faith, so to speak. And leap of faith can be seen as just the belief that you're going to act upon based upon nothing at all sometimes, based on a gut feeling, based on experiences that you can act on in the moment versus taking the next logical step. Logic can be a slower process.
Okay. Okay. I see what you're saying. And emotions is right there, or that feeling is right there, right instantly. And
And
actually,
this
this
is why,
feeling comes a little bit sooner. The feeling comes a little bit sooner than the logic in it. I get you. You can react. It's like your like the instinct. Yeah, I got you.
a feeling is like a this is my notes, a subjective experience and interpretation of the emotion. So the emotion is like the heart rate goes up, the breathing picks up because you heard this noise. You hear this noise, the heart rate goes up right away. The body starts secreting hormones. All of these things are starting to happen. And then you interpret that and assign a feeling to it, whether it be fear or whether it be I'm gonna attack. That feeling gets assigned to the emotion, which is a physiological response of the nervous system.
Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you.
So they're related, and all of that is also related to instinct, right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. They're cool. So where are we moving next on this consciousness thing? Because everything has, so that's what we spoke about last time. Even trees have, and flowers and plants, who we would think don't really have that type of consciousness, actually do have a form of consciousness that we just don't necessarily understand or even take heed to, you know,
For
like
sure, man.
ants even have consciousness. uh even though they're like you're like, oh, these are the busy bees, or these are the worker ants. They don't believe in anything. Your camera. And
Man, why does this thing keep dropping? I think I need to move my computer. Okay, I'm
yeah,
listening.
but all like they even have a form of consciousness. So it's like well, yeah, maybe if we start realizing and stop thinking like a colonizer that everything here is conscious. Everything go, you do not um go excuse me, I got distracted. Um Everything has a form of thinking consciousness, or excuse me. You have to take that over. I got distracted by something real quick.
It's all good. Yeah, I mean, one place we could take him in is like looking at some of the ancient people because scientists sometimes kind of dance around this issue. In my opinion, they seem to dance around what they think consciousness is, but like the ancient Buddha, for example, was talking about um, instead the Buddha really rarely emphasized thinking and oftentimes talked about we have to observe and feel and become aware. And meditation is one of those things that can make us more aware. And when we start to meditate, we can start to separate thoughts from what's really happening and be more intuitive on what's around us, more intuitive to the consciousness. And even was it the Vedanta philosophy, which is a Hindu philosophy, said that the body is temporary and awareness is primary. So there's a part of us that's always on that never really shuts off, but thoughts come and go. But there's something that's always around, always kind of watching. Sometimes it's referred to as the watcher. That part of us is unchanging and it's always there. And so the thoughts in and of themselves are just going across the awareness, but they're not what creates the awareness itself. It's kind
Okay.
of what we assign to the awareness. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Now I'm back on where I was talking about. So if we start realizing that everything around us has consciousness, I think we will be better humans. Instead of because you remember when they was even talking about uh how they said now this how they said that black people were three-fourths of a human, and then like the Indians are savages, they're not even human. Like when the colonizer comes, they act like everything else is below whoever the colonizer is. And so it's like I believe that mindset, that everything beneath us, which, we don't have to care about, we don't have to worry about if they have conscience. That's why we step on ants. Well, that's not reason why, but that's why a lot of people step on and kill other animals for sport, not for food, but and treat other people the way they treat them, and treat dogs the way they treat them, because they don't feel, hey, you're beneath me. I mean, they feel that they're beneath that person, so they can treat them any other way, and they don't care that animal, that that other life form, whether it be a tree or a flower. That's why has some sort of consciousness to it, that it maybe it even feels. We don't
Yeah,
know, but if we realize that it has some consciousness to it, we might start digging deeper into that thing and realize it does have feelings, and that we should treat these things as beautiful. It's like, I've always had an issue with giving people flowers. I love giving people
what you
flowers.
don't like to give flowers?
No, I mean,
What?
I do, but only in the sense of, like, when I go to somebody's house and it's the first time, I don't give them potted flowers. I give them a tree, like a lemon tree, orange tree or something, just a little one, so that they can grow it into something that is beautiful and to feed them, right? But cutting the flowers, killing it is like, yeah, I'm going to give you some death, some beautiful death, you know, and that's not realizing that this plant has consciousness. This plant opens up. It doesn't just open up because the sun is out. It opens up because it's trying to thrive.
Yeah.
It's trying to sustain its life. And then it closes because it's probably taking a nap. I don't know why it closes. And scientists some people believe that scientists push that away and say it's just an act of what the flower does, what that plant does. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have any feelings. It doesn't have any emotions. It just does. It just is. Like a tire that we create just rolls. It's not like that. As long as it has life, it has consciousness of some sorts. We have to believe in that. So we don't have to. We can do what the heck we want to do. But I believe that we should believe in that, because that would make us start caring a lot more for everything else, which would make the world a lot better of a place to live, and a lot kinder,
Yeah.
to have
And
respect for other life forms and believe that they are thinking. How shitty does some of these trees believe when we was going through the Sequoia National Forest, or just those giant redwoods, cutting them down? Remember when we was doing that? I mean, not
yeah,
we, me and you, but we cut them down and then realized the wood wasn't good for anything but toothpicks. Those big, giant, majestic, beautiful trees, cut them down and couldn't even use the wood. What kind of garbage
yeah.
is that?
Hey,
But
man.
whatever.
It,
I went
I'm
there.
glad you said what you said, though, because the neuroscientist in this article we're talking about, Antonio Damasio, PhD neuroscientist at USC, he basically summed consciousness up as consciousness is not about high flights or intellectual fantasy. It's about, first and foremost, the maintenance and regulation of life. And that what determines something has life, right? If we're talking about cells, neurons, uh, photons, neutrons, everything around us has those things in it, including us, animals, trees. I mean, if we really understood consciousness and that, all that basically means it's alive, really, if you think about it, that it has
Yeah.
the ability to try to maintain life. And I love that movie Avatar. I don't think I bring it up all the time, but I think if you remember that movie
Oh yeah,
Avatar,
yeah, yeah. I only seen the first two. I haven't seen any other ones.
I mean, you saw the best one. The first one was the best one, to be honest,
Yeah,
because
you
it
talking about
it
with the
shows
connection,
how, huh?
the connection.
Yeah, you can see how when they walk through the jungle, how they make it light up, but they're really showing you that this whole network of trees and everything talking on the ground is all alive, and how they reverence the animals. Like, she had at one point, what's her name, Nateria, she had to kill an animal, but she didn't just kill the animal. She paid respect to it first before she killed it. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right,
The animal
right.
was trying to kill Jake Sully because those our ancestors, well, some of them, not all of them, right? I mean, we can't pretend that all the ancestors were great and on the up and up, but
Right.
I mean, that's the reality. We can't. But some of those cultures reverence the animals and they respected them in a way that we don't. I mean, we slaughter in mass, we cut down trees in mass. So I think you're right, man. It definitely will help us see each other in a different light and realize, one, that another thing too is that the same consciousness that's in a tree is the same consciousness that's in you or in a bug or in a spider or whatever. And it's that that's keeping everything going and not this individual thought.
I was just the consciousness. I know it. We're off. I mean, we're on this thing, but I wonder if this is something similar, like when it comes to people's thoughts and what they believe. When they believe, like I've heard this, and I don't know how true it is because I'm not in that situation, but where they say, white people are afraid that black people or indigenous people or whatever are going to, if they take their foot off these people's necks, like if whoever's in power, if they take the foot off of the lower people's necks, that those people are going to come up and kill them. They'll do the same thing to them, like they, like they done to the other group. And I don't think that is true. I really don't feel that is a true feeling. But that is what I've been told, you know. I think as far as consciousness go, like there's levels. I know there's levels, but then there's different forms as well. If that thought is part of human consciousness, you know, you
And
you, if it is, maybe it's not.
I don't know. Are you talking about like let's just say
Experiences and beliefs.
what like what how do I experiences and belief shape our reality or something? Or if someone was a slave, let's just say, and they somehow got free, that they're gonna come back and kill the slave masters. That's how you kind of started it.
Yeah, pretty much like Nat Turner. I think that a lot of people think that everybody would be like Nat Turner, but that's their conscious mind on their on on their level
Yeah.
of thinking. And I don't believe that. Okay, here you go. Growing up in school, like elementary school, I know it's different. Elementary, middle school, maybe even a little bit of high school. People thought that, like, if I fight this bully, or if the bully is like, if I let this dude beat me or fight me, I have no choice but to beat him up, or he's going to beat me up really bad and start bullying me. And that's not really what happens. Most of the time, when a person defends himself against a bully and the bully stops, they leave the bully alone. It's like, I just wanted you to leave me alone. You know what I mean? But their idea, see, this is my dilemma right now. Is that part of consciousness? Is cause and effect part of consciousness?
It's cause and effect part of. I mean, yeah, I would have to say it's a fundamental law, right? Cause and effect is one of the laws that govern reality.
Yeah, but how
Law.
how 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 tied is that to consciousness? You know? I don't know if I'm asking the question
I'm
correctly.
not quite. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Understanding the question. You
Well,
saying
we can
like
move on.
so the consciousness that is around us and that permeates everything, is that affected by cause and effect, or is cause and effect affecting the consciousness?
It's cause and effect affecting consciousness, because consciousness is not necessarily thought, but it
Yeah.
is part of thought, right? Because in the beginning, I'm going back on what I said in the beginning of consciousness is like a centipede. There's multiple legs to it, you know.
Yeah.
So is that part of consciousness? Because if that's part of consciousness, we have so many different ways to fix ourselves into being better creatures, better humans, better gods, whatever you want to call us, because if we were actually consciousness in our thinking, I don't think we would have, especially what we finding out now, that we would think that Michael Jackson was wrong when we say they don't care about us. We would have been able to pair Michael Jackson with Kanye, with some of the stuff that he was saying when we was taking that part away and saying, "Oh, this dude, oh, excuse me, his name isn't Kanye anymore, is it? It's Ye." Okay. Ye, his
Yeah, I'm glad you straightened that up.
yeah,
I want, we don't want
we got
anybody afterwards for
yeah, we got to be respectful, you know what I'm saying? But we we find out now that a lot of the stuff that he's saying was right, you know, especially when it's talking about the people who own the industry. You know what I mean? Uh, so, and we were saying, oh, he's crazy for saying that, and he's anti-Semitic and all this other stuff. It's not, you know, a conscious person would say, well, it's not really anti-Semitic when you're telling the truth about a situation.
Okay, I think I get what you're saying. It seems like um I'm going to try to make this point. So sometimes people
Okay.
will say there's a higher level of consciousness or you're more awake at different levels. Like some people can be asleep and they're not understanding the systems of mind control, where someone is more awake to that and they are understanding the systems of mind control. And somebody can be more awake than that and they're understanding who is behind them. You know, that is that kind of what
Yeah.
you're saying? Okay, okay, so levels of consciousness. So that
Well,
in that
yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's that, and then there's also just the way I'm trying understanding this topic is that consciousness in and of itself just is like it's not reduced down to these different levels. It's just something that is out there and is permeating life. And then we have awareness, different levels of awareness, which is like my awareness level is that I'm not under my control, or I am under my control, or I am being, that's like a level of awareness, but consciousness in and of itself is the thing that's
Everything.
the same amongst whether you're a dog, a cat, a tiger, a tree. Consciousness is what makes that all work. And then there's subjective levels of awareness of things that are around you, which then creates the individual experience.
Mm, okay.
Now, um, there's a the Kabbalion talks about all is mind, which is universal law number one in the Hermetic principles that says all is mind, and it's saying that we're existing in the mind of God, so to speak. And if you think about like a dream, when you have a dream, you sometimes you know you're dreaming and you know there's a dreamer, but you would be the dreamer in this case, and everything in this dream is being created through your mind.
Right.
And if you can imagine the creator or something is creating us, and we have access to all that is, but we're living in that dream, so to speak. But we can't really get out of the dream until you go back to the all. And that's why sometimes they'll say the derma or skin is an anagram for dream, the same letters, dream, derma. When you hear you're in this dream state, existing in the consciousness or the mind of the creator. Now, to your point about the different levels, I would say that's more levels of awareness of what's going on. But
I
consciousness can't be created because you know how they'll go ahead.
No, I mean it was what you said when you was talking about it just it kind of threw me off because I know you. Now, do you believe what you just said about we're in the mind, we're in the dream state of God, you know, of you do you believe that, or is that just something that you was reading and you're like,
It,
hey, this is just what it was?
I believe it in the sense of trying to explain it in a way that makes sense. But as you like you said, you know me, I don't really think there's like this
Yeah,
being that's up
individual.
there, like this being that's up there, like we are. I think it's more of a construct, like for lack of a better way to really describe it. It's hard to really say what that thing outside of that put this in motion. is like. But some people call it God, some call it universe, some call it the all, heaven, all these different terms for it. But it's something that is putting all this in motion, and we're existing in that. And that, whatever that is, we're all a part of it, and it's all in us. It's in everything around us. And that's what I mean by being in the dream of that energy or that power or that source.
Okay. Okay. I'm following now. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
and I think even the scriptures say you can't really talk about the things of God because it's beyond our consciousness, but we just know that there's something that put all this in motion and we exist at its um ability to keep us alive. One, like a guy and I at work were having a conversation the other day about, he was talking about these hikers who were in these extreme conditions, and everything logically said that this person should have died, but it didn't die because the consciousness wasn't ready to leave the body yet, and it defied the temperature, the low heart rate, the lack of breathing, and this person still lived, which defies the logical mind, but it's a state of consciousness that keeps everything alive. And we know that that is something that exists in the air. Some traditions call it prana, but until that leaves, the body will can be quote unquote resurrected or quote unquote live beyond what the logical mind would say. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about consciousness, that thing, that level of existence.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. I'm tracking. I'm tracking with the thing. And when just to give you a heads up, when I said I know you, I wasn't saying like I know you. But we have had many conversations, to where it seemed like maybe there was a little bit of conflict within that and what was said prior. Not at least with my understanding of it. But now, I mean,
Yeah.
I get it now. I get it now. Um, but that
But
that
also
it,
like
go ahead.
sometimes both things are true at the same time, you know?
Yeah,
No, it's a
hundred
paradoxical
percent.
place in that way. But yeah. So like I don't know, but to answer your question about the Kanye and Michael Jackson piece, and I mean, what do you want to say about it deeper? Like, were they speaking the truth? Should if we're aware of what they're saying, should we be able to make some connections with it?
Well, no, it was mainly the conscious connection
Mm,
of
okay.
that. It's like all these other people are saying things that are connected. Like these people are saying like they don't care about
I
us.
got you.
And
I got
when he said Jew me, sue me, whatever, all that other stuff. And then uh Kanye's talking about the Jews, and then you got Prince talking about the Jews, then you got presidents talking. And now, I'm not saying anything's wrong with Jewish people. I'm not saying that because but when you have all these people talking about the same thing, not just as far as entertainers, but when you hear presidents and politicians, and then you don't hear too many, at least I haven't heard too many people like lawyers or architects or farmers, but I hear them talking about the laws, and then that connecting that to what the politician said, and connecting that to what a president said about these people. And like, are we not consciously connecting all of these things together, or are we just saying, oh, you said that, I know about this and I know about that, I know about this, but I don't like what you said? Are we not consciously connecting all of these things together? Because they kind of gave us everything right in front of us in the part of the Epstein files. Are we consciously thinking about what is going on, what is actually happening, or are we just saying, "Oh, whatever, it's part of life. We're America, it." it's okay for there to be some pedophiles. It's okay for people to eat people. Jeffrey Dahmer did it. You know, I don't know what we're thinking because like consciously it's like there's some connection. Why are we not doing something? I mean, I understand me personally, I'm not expecting a farmer to get up and go do something. I'm not expecting uh, a gangbanger to get up and go do something. I'm not expecting the what's that? Fresh Mart. Not, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but a grocery store manager to get up and go do something. But what I am expecting is for all of us to push the people who can do something to go do something. Like a politician, uh, push
Can they
those
really
people
do
to do
something?
something.
Is the question. Can they
Probably
really do
not.
something? I, because the way I think of it is like I listened to this guy. He called himself the crypto teacher, right?
Okay.
And he put me on game, and I had never really thought about it when he said the stock market is rigged, right? And it has to be to create the markets, right? You have to be able to manipulate it in a way to get a specific outcome over time, and you push some certain companies up, you push certain industries down, and it's rigged in a way that the ones who are at the top always win because it's a big casino, just no different from Harrah's or the casinos in Vegas. They're rigged so the ones at the top always win. And when you think about these different systems, I mean, would you create a system in which you would let the ones at the bottom be able to overturn your system
Well,
within your
no,
system? Within
most
your
definitely
system.
not. The king does not create laws that govern him. 100%.
Yeah. So there's no way that someone who's in the system is going to be able to change the system because it's not designed that way. So to your point, the politicians, I don't expect them to do anything that would change the system because they're part of the system that's designed for them not to be able to fix it. And they
But
keep flying. Go ahead.
but that's the point
Yeah.
of consciousness. I believe conscious people to this situation have the ability to fix this situation. And I'm not saying it sounds like I just said I'm not conscious. I know that there's a problem, but there has to be something that we can do to fix this situation. And it takes conscious people and active people to do something about it. Now, we could either be nonchalant and be like, hey, man, I still need to eat. I, this isn't that bad. They weren't my children. They're not, I'm too old for them to grab me and eat me. you know,
Man,
I don't know. I mean, but
I think the subject that you're always talking about, right? You oftentimes mention surveillance is going to increase. Government control is increasing. But if you think about how systems are governed, right? You during the old regime that's dying away, and we see it dying away, you had um, like jails, for example. But if technology increases, they always talk about a society that doesn't have crime, and they're going to do this through technology. So if you think about just the jails, you'll need less jails because you'll have the ability to police people through the technology. So there won't be the traditional system that we had are kind of going away because people will be in a jail cell that's out and about, being able to control the thoughts and the actions and behaviors. So you don't need less jail cell. People are more likely to commit crime. And you brought up an example about a wallet that might sit on the ground for 5 days before someone picks it up last week.
yeah, yeah, in
And if you
Korea.
can imagine in that society, that's how it will be controlled. So in essence, the people who are going to create something that changes the system is not going to be through the system that we know it. It's going to be people coming together and creating their own thing that thrives outside of this so-called system because we know that we're going to have to farm more. We know that we're going to have to come together in our communities. We know that we're going to have to do all those things. And as people come together, they'll create their own things. And it won't be like, oh, let's fight the governmental system because the system in and of itself is going to be different. You won't
Right.
need as many politicians to go fight your battles. You'll be able to create your own thing, but it will then be policed through the technology.
And maybe once we show that type of consciousness, it'll be a whole totally different system. That
Yeah,
system
exactly.
which we are or would be fighting would be trying to say, okay, you're not using our system anymore. We're not able to go to war with you because you guys are stronger now. So what we want you to integrate back into this system. They would want reintegration. They would give up an olive branch or a pacifier to stop the separation from that system. But that's what consciousness is. It is a fight at times. It is a struggle at times on one of those legs of the millipede centipede. Consciousness is also love and caring
Yeah.
about people. And I'm into the love and caring about people. I care about everybody. I want everybody to be happy. I want all my buddies to succeed. I'm not jealous of anybody. You do your thing, and I hope you succeed. I hope good, what I would consider good, succeeds over the opposite end of that. You know what I mean? But we need the opposite end of it so we can prove what's good is good. So do your thing too. We here, baby. We here. We do have a guest coming on, right? We do have a
Yeah,
guest
we got
coming
a guest
on.
next week.
Yeah, my buddy Nigel Williams. I don't know if you can see this. Let me pull it back some right here.
Yeah, I can see
Uh,
it. Future Rich, Future Rich.
Future Rich. He's coming on to talk with us. He's coming on to talk with us, give us his idea. It's a wonderful book. If you look it up, go ahead and get it. But it's going to be one of our first interviews, and he is a dynamic man. I've seen him talk in different ceremonies, places. I've seen him do his job. He sets goals and he achieves them. Awesome man, awesome man. So I'm glad to have him on. So please come watch, and there's going to be places for you to open and ask questions to him, so we can get this. You know, let's put his feet to the fire. And he can handle it. He can handle it. He's a good dude. He also been in the police force too, so he's a good dude.
Yeah,
But you can
man.
go ahead and
Yeah,
take us out, sir.
yeah, man. Excited to have our first guest on. It's going to be awesome. I think he's a financial specialist helping people build wealth by the name of the title of the book, Future Rich. Who doesn't want to be rich, right? If I can learn a few more things about how to get rich quicker, any get rich quick schemes he's going to be bringing, or what?
Oh, we're gonna ask him.
I'm just joking, dude. I'm joking, but yeah, this was a good one, man. Consciousness Part Two. So we look forward to seeing you back next week on another A to Z. We're out.